I started my record label, Lethal Theory. We kind of created our own sound on that label, and then music was in a bit of a wilderness. We then reinvented the sound of music on our label to this power stomp subgenre, which blew up really big. And then the UK scene was starting to go on a downward tip, and I could see that from the outside looking in. The raves were still busy, but I knew from being in it that I'm like, this hasn't got long left, man. So I want to start doing. Plus, I'd also felt like I'd hit a ceiling in terms of like how well I could do. I was playing the biggest parties, I was playing the main stages, and again, it's like how many times, from the outside looking in, people are like, you should be really thankful of that. You're getting to do that on the regular, and believe me, I was. But also, it's like, what else is there to life? It's like, it's a saying I say to people a lot. It's like, I'm sick of having the time of my life. Like, you can do, doesn't matter what you do. Like, if you're sitting at home bored and you're just playing PlayStation all day, you do that all day, eventually that's going to get boring. If you're touring the world all day, every day, and you're just getting in and out of planes and, jumping on stage, eventually, it does take longer to get bored, granted, but if you're just doing the same thing over and over, it gets boring, and that definitely traverses over to the music side of things as well. So sometimes to my detriment from a business perspective, like when things have been going really well, I'm like, I'm bored, man, I need to do something else. And people round about me as things kind of got bigger and stuff, I had record labels and management and other outside influences saying, like, what you're doing, you're kind of at the zenith, you could go bigger. But I'm like, I kind of feel like I've done everything I needed to do in this space I'm in. I want a new challenge, and I think one of the things, going back to kind of my origin story, I started off poorer than poor, so I'm like, I'm not scared to go backwards, man, because I'm quite comfortable eating beans and toast again. So it's no biggie. Plus, the thing is as well, like the amount of stuff that I've learned along the way, each time I've had to reinvent myself, like breaking those barriers once, like getting that record out in a year when I gave myself a 2-year limit. That was like, I can do one thing. You hit that goal, and it's like you give yourself another goal. You break that down, and then you're like, I can do things. Like, as long as I apply myself and just keep going. And I've never described myself as talented. Really, I think talent's a real kind of misused word. It's really drive plus passion plus hard work. That's what talent is. It's how much you want something and how much time you devote to it. And I'm not really somebody that picks things up relatively quickly, but the more I do, push myself into uncomfortable positions and do stuff that I think is difficult, the better I get at doing more difficult things. And